I am here.
Commissioner Schulte. Here. Commissioner Look.
Here.
Commissioner Gamache.
Here.
Commissioner Jepson.
Here.
Commissioner Meisner.
Here.
Okay, all present and accounted for. We'll move on to item 4, which is tax claims and abatements. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Brasted.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Schulte. Roll call vote.
Commissioner Reinert.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Brastad.
Aye.
And that passes unanimously. We'll move on to item 5, which is consider accepting the regular claims paid over $500 and purchase card claims paid for the period ending August 11th, 2023. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Meisner.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Jepson. Roll call vote.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Brastad.
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert.
Aye.
And that also passes unanimously. We'll move on to item 6, which is approval of minutes for the August 8th, 2023 County Board meeting. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Commissioner Schulte, second by Commissioner Brasted. Any changes, subtractions, additions? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That motion passes. We'll move on to chair's remarks. There are no chair's remarks for this board meeting. Item 8 is committee reports, and we will move directly into the finance chair report, in which we did not have time to meet for the finance committee, but the chair, myself, recommends the county board approve contract C001022 with Allstate Communications out of Sauk Rapids, Minnesota, to provide cabling required for the emergency communications and radio shop for an amount of $598,908. You'll see the attached worksheet there. This was the low bid. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Brasted,
Second.
second by Commissioner Jepson. Any comments or questions on this one? Discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Brastad.
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
And that passes unanimously. We have Andrew up here. You guys want to give a quick update on the project?
Mr. Chair, members of the committee, yes, Andrew Dykstra, Director of Facilities Management and Construction for Anoka County. Due to the lack of rain, construction at the site has gone fantastic. With us today is Kyle Walters. He is our construction manager with ICS, overseeing that project. So Kyle, could you give us a most recent update for the project itself?
Yeah, absolutely. As Andrew indicated, construction's going very well so far. So we are, structure is up and complete. We're actually working on inside underground plumbing utilities and electrical utilities with our first inside concrete slab scheduled the Tuesday after Labor Day. So we plan on actually pouring almost every day until we're complete there. So within a couple weeks from then, we'll actually be able to start with the interior finishes. So exterior facade is continuing with some framing and some other things, but and some underground electrical for parking lot lights and other security related items. So very happy with the progress to date. Yep.
Okay. Any comments? It seems to be moving along quite well. So
Yep.
thank you for your hard work on that.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, that'll conclude the finance chair report. We'll move on to human services report and Commissioner Reinert.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. So we got a few items for you this morning. My committee met on August 15th at 8:30 a.m. and there was no public comment. We do have one consent item agenda here, and I'll move that.
There's a motion by Commissioner Reinert. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Jepson. Roll call vote.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Brastad.
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye. That passes unanimously. Item 2.
Yeah, now we'll move into the regular agenda. We'll start with economic assistance. First item here is consider recommending the county board enter into contract number C0005216. And this is an amendment with Hennepin County for continuation of the integrated voice response system in an amount of $5,700 a month. And this is a 5-year contract. It's been a good relationship with Hennepin County. Basically, we route a lot of calls through them. Last year, I have a number here, I think it was
27,000.
was it? 127,000 calls went through there. We ended up taking about 80,000 of those, but using this integrated system, it basically takes care of and answers questions for about 50,000 people that called, and you can imagine the money that saves the county. The cost of this at $5,000 a month, comes out to be maybe $1 a call that we spend to have those questions answered automatically. So that's the what's before you here under economic assistance, and it's I guess I'll move this.
So this amount of $5,793 moved by Commissioner Reinert. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Gamache. Discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Jepson,
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner,
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad,
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Look,
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
That passes unanimously. On to item 3.
And now move over to social services, and I'd like to consider recommending the county board enter into the following family homeless prevention and assistance program. And this is, let's see, 2-year contract. Let's see, yeah, basically, we're getting about $2.5 million from the state. The state allocated $51 million for this work, and we're getting $2.5 million. We're going to be subcontracting to Hope for Youth, the Salvation Army, and the YMCA to provide these services for the county. This is completely state-funded.
Okay, we have 3 separate contracts here. I'll ask our attorney, should we take them individually?
Yes, please.
Okay. So for the first contract under A there, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second by Commissioner Meisner, second by Commissioner Schulte. Discussion on that one. This is for Hope for Youth in the amount of $193,165. Seeing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Meisner,
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad,
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Look,
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache,
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
That passes unanimously. Item B is the contract C 0010202 for the Salvation Army, amount of $1,736,000. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
By
Second.
Commissioner Gamache, second by Commissioner Brasted. Discussion on this one. Seeing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Brassad,
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Look,
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache,
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson,
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
And that passes unanimously. Item C is contract C 0010204 YMCA of the North in the amount not to exceed $550,835. Is there a motion? Moved by Commissioner Schulte,
Second.
second by Commissioner Jepson. Discussion on that one. Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Reinert,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte, Commissioner Look,
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache,
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson,
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner,
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
And that passes unanimously. We'll move on to item 4.
Item 4 is a couple more contracts, and this is consider recommending the county board enter into Homework Starts with home program, sub-grantee contracts. And this is much of the same work, and this was the state allocated $5.5 million, and looks like we're getting about $588,000 of that to do this work. We've got 2 contracts there. I guess I'll do the work this time, Mr. Chair. Got contract number C0010207 with the Salvation Army for $399,500.
Is there a motion to approve that one?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Jepson, second by Commissioner Gamache. Discussion?
Mr. Chair?
Yes, Commissioner Meisner.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. So, and I want to say, Commissioner Reiner, that this implementation is actually fairly new, where we're going into the schools. And my question is for both of these contracts. So this is for Anoka Hennepin School District, and then the social workers that are doing this work are, I guess, only the Salvation Army and the YMCA. They're not including school counselors or anything like that, or maybe there's some overlap with that. But that was my question.
Questions on that one?
Yeah,
That they're going into the schools this time? Yes, this is the first time that we're doing that.
No, I know that. I'm saying for these contracts. So the folks that are doing this work is strictly only the Salvation Army and the YMCA.
Correct, yeah.
Okay,
No,
okay.
Not Hope for Youth this time.
Thank you.
Further discussion on contract A? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Look,
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache,
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson,
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner,
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad,
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert.
Aye. Then the second contract, number, or C001028, this is with the YMCA for the same work for $166,628.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Schulte, second by Commissioner Jepson. Discussion on this one. Seeing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
And both of those pass unanimously. Moving on to item 5.
Still under social services, we have number 5 to consider, recommending the county board enter into contract number C008755. And this is an amendment with the Salvation Army in an amount of up to an additional $200,000 for housing assistance services. And this is a 4-month contract, state funded.
Is there a motion to approve the contract?
So moved.
By Commissioner Schulte.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Brassad. Discussion on this one? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye. That passes unanimously. Item 6.
Now we'll move into behavioral health, and this is to consider recommending the county board enter into contract number C009233 with the Minnesota Department of Human Services in amended amounts of $2,109,095 for adult mental health initiative and $1,231,442 for the community support program from January 1st, 23 through December 31st, 24. And this is a 2-year contract, and the funding source is a federal mental health block grant.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Meisner.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Jepson. Discussion on item 6. Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
That passes unanimously. Item 7.
Yeah, the next 2 items are resolutions that we need to adopt for prior actions here. The first one is the committee recommended county board adopt resolution number 2023 HS11, accepting Minnesota Housing Funds for the Homework Starts with Home program.
Is there an offer of that resolution?
I'll offer the resolution.
Resolution's been offered by Commissioner Jepson. Discussion on item 7. Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
That passes unanimously. Item 8.
Item 8 is another resolution. This is basically, ratifying the $2.5 million we're going to get for, to be used to prevent and minimize repeat episodes of homelessness. So the county recommends county board adopt resolution number 2023 HS12, accepting Minnesota Housing Funds for the Family Homeless Prevention and Assistance Program.
Is there an offer of the resolution?
I'll offer the resolution.
Resolution's been offered by Commissioner Gamache. Discussion on item 8. Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
And that passes unanimously.
The rest is informational. However, I want to mention at our job training center, we've got a first place that we were awarded for promising practice from the Minnesota Association of Workforce Boards. There's going to be more of a presentation on that next month.
Okay. And that concludes your report.
That does conclude my report.
Thank you, Commissioner Reinert. Okay, moving on to the Information Technology Committee report, and Commissioner Gamache.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The IT Committee met on August 15th. We have 2 action items. The first one is the Information Technology Committee recommends the County Board approve a purchase from Protect Design in Minnetonka, Minnesota for the security camera and intercom system at the Emergency Communications Center and Radio Shop. That's in the amount of $187,739 with a change order of $18,773.90 for a total not to exceed $206,512.90. There's some information in here for you. I don't know if anybody's got any questions about this. This was pretty self-explanatory on what is needed for security within the new Emergency Communications Center.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Brassad.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Gamache and Schulte. Very good. Any discussion on this one? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Reinert,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Look,
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache,
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson,
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner,
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
That passes unanimously. Item 2.
Item number 2 is the Information Technology Committee recommends the county board adopt resolution 2023 dash, I got a weird number here.
Letter T.
Letter T, is that what it is? Oh, T1. Oh, I think the T's should be capitalized. I thought it was a.
Like brackets.
It does. Okay, appointing security official pursuant to HIPAA regulations and data privacy concerns. And this is to replace the two people that were in those roles. And we're very fortunate to have a very exceptional individual of Craig Nicola that has agreed to step in and do this work for us. So I want to thank Craig for doing that. It's a big job, and someone needs to do it, and I know Craig's going to be very good since he's always been very excellent at everything he's done for us here at in IT in Anoka County. So I would be, this needs a resolution, I'm going to move that.
Okay, the resolution has been offered by Commissioner Gamache. Is there discussion on this? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That resolution passes.
Congratulations, Craig. Thank you for helping us in this regard. We had one informational item, and it was in a closed session, but it was discussing some of the security projects that we are working on very diligently, and I want to thank the staff for all the work that they did representing and showing the committee how things are moving along and the very important job that they're doing every single day for IT and for Anoka County to protect our systems. So thank you very much for that. And that'll conclude my report.
Thank you, Commissioner Gamache, for that report. We'll move on to the internal audit report, and Commissioner Reinert.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. We had a meeting on August 3rd, and all of my report is informational. So we did have the state auditor complete their report in July of 2023. The county received an unmodified, unqualified opinion on the financial statements, and this is the highest rating obtainable for the annual financial audit. We also heard limited presentations from the Attorney's Office and Sheriff's Office, and the next meeting of the Internal Audit Committee will be held in December of this year. And that completes my report.
Thank you, Commissioner Reinert. Yes, Commissioner Meisner.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, just a quick question on that. So then the 2022 audit, when will that be published on like our website?
I guess I'm not sure. I'll refer to our auditor or our finance
And then,
director.
I'm
You
sorry,
guys.
and then just to clarify that, so that's the annual comprehensive financial report, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, Mr. Chair, Commissioner Meisner, what's happening right now is the audit is in final review with the Office of the State Auditor until they complete that final review. So they've got all the reports, we've got the attorney's letter back, all the things that necessary to do it. We're just waiting word from them, and I don't know where we are in the kind of stacking of them looking at it.
Okay.
But once that's complete, we pretty much are ready to go. At that point, we will publish and we will send you all copies at that point. We're hoping in the next week or so. I don't really know. I can't run the state
Sure.
auditor's office.
No, I was just curious.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
that's our hope. So we're hoping by the end of the month, I'm really hoping that it's going to get there. So
Thank you.
we're awaiting.
Further questions on that one? Okay. That'll wrap up the internal audit report. We'll move on to the public record, property records and taxation committee report, and Commissioner Schulte.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Property Records and Taxation Committee had the opportunity to meet on August 15th at 9 a.m. here in Conference Room 772. We brought forward one item for your consideration today, and the committee does recommend that you approve Anoka County contract, which is a joint powers agreement between Anoka County and St. Francis Independent School District 15 for election services provided by Anoka County on behalf of the school district with a base cost of $6,000. And I'll move that, Mr. Chair.
It's moved by Commissioner Schulte. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Brassad. Discussion on this one. Seeing none. Roll call vote.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Look,
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache,
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson,
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner,
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad,
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert.
That passes unanimously.
Mr. Chair, I probably should, under discussion, probably just mention that there was discussion that the 6,000 may not actually be covering our costs to do these, and I've asked Property Records and Taxation to look into making sure that we're covering our staff time and costs to do these elections for other organizations, whether it's school districts or cities or whatever it is. So we'll look into that and see if we can come back. You know, maybe we are, but it doesn't seem to me from the list of work that was there that 6,000 adequately remunerates us for the work that we're doing. So with that, the last item on our agenda was informational. You can peruse that at your leisure, and that concludes my report, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Schulte. We will move on to item 9, which is a public hearing to obtain comments concerning the proposed Anoka County ordinance prohibiting public use of cannabis on county-owned properties. You'll see the attached public hearing notice, and I will turn it over to our attorney, Attorney Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of the county board. As you might recall, this was an item on our last agenda at our last meeting. There was insufficient public notice for a public hearing, and so we asked that it be postponed to today's hearing. I would open the public hearing portion of this meeting at this time. The time is now 9:51. I'd ask that the minutes reflect that notice of this public hearing was published on August 11th, 2023 in the Anoka County Union to inform the public that a hearing would occur today, August 22nd, 2023, before the Anoka County Board of Commissioners to allow public comment on the topic of passing an ordinance prohibiting the use of cannabis on county-owned property. So I don't think we have any presentations by any staff at this point in time. I think it's proper now just to turn to the public comment portion of the hearing and open up this hearing. And as a preliminary matter, I would just ask the clerk, were there any comments submitted prior to the meeting by any member of the public to you?
There were not.
Okay. I would then call out to the audience, are there members of the public here who wish to make any public comment with respect to ordinance number 2023-1, a prohibition on use of cannabis on county-owned properties? Is there anybody here from the public that has come to make comment or would like to be heard on this topic on the agenda? I'm going to call a couple of more times. Is there anyone here who would like to make public comment on the topic of a cannabis ordinance in Anoka County? Final call. Anyone here from the public who would like to address the board on a cannabis ordinance in Anoka County? Hearing no further comments or no comments at all, I will now close the public hearing portion of the meeting and turn the meeting back to you, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, County Attorney Johnson. We will now consider ordinance 2023-1, prohibition of use of cannabis on county-owned properties. And I would ask the board, do we want to dispense with the reading on this, or would people want us to read this?
Mr. Chair?
Yes, Commissioner Mash.
I'd like to make a motion to postpone this today again. I believe we need to have some discussion with the Sheriff's Department on this. I did not see that the sheriff was at the IG committee meeting, and maybe if he was, Commissioner Reinert had said he was the chair and he did not believe he was there, if he recalls it right. I don't think we've had a discussion with the sheriff as to how he plans to handle this, being that it's a state law that cannabis is now legal. And it's my opinion that we need to have a good discussion with him, perhaps at our next IG committee meeting or even at a workshop perhaps down the line. We don't seem to be having any major issues. I know this went into place on August 1st. I have not heard of any major issues that we've been dealing with, and I think there's other options besides a separate ordinance, because we already have a large ordinance in our Parks Department that covers a large variety of issues, and we could possibly add some of these into that. And I think that would take care of most of the problems within our parks. I also think we have the options to use some of what we have currently for grounds around in Anoka County that we could probably add to. So I would ask to postpone.
So we have a motion to postpone. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Meisner. This is not.
Well, there can be limited discussion, but only on the subject of the postponement, not on the subject of the resolution or the ordinance itself.
Would anyone want to discuss the topic of postponement?
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Commissioner Schulte.
Yeah, I'll be voting against it, as I think we've had plenty of time to study this and understand it. Heck, I think we've had more time than the legislature took to pass legalization. For that reason, I'm going to vote against the postponement in hopes that we can vote on it today.
Commissioner Reinert.
So there can be no question as far as outcomes from both of those paths, because we basically now heard of a different path that the county could take, which was what, to add it to existing policy? And I guess my question would be outcomes. I mean, what's the difference in outcomes that the county would realize by doing one or the other? That can't be discussed, or it can be discussed?
That wouldn't be a topic that you'd want to discuss. It's just limited to the issue of postponement, when, whether to postpone.
All right, thank you.
Commissioner Meisner.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, I will be supporting the postponement for the reasons that Commissioner Gamache talked about. Okay, I can't talk about the details of the ordinance, but there are teeth to it. And so to his point, how is that going to be enforced? I have not talked to the sheriff about it either, so I think that is just prudent. And then I can't say anything else, I guess. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chair, I would just clarify that if the motion were to fail, then you could get into a more robust discussion about the ordinance itself, so.
And County Attorney Johnson, is it a simple majority or is it larger than simple majority?
The simple majority.
Simple okay. All right, Commissioner Reinert.
And with the motion to postpone, do you also need to provide a date of when you want it postponed to?
Yes, there's whether or not you're postponing indefinitely or whether you're postponing to a date certain. My understanding from Commissioner Gamache when he was articulating it, it was to the next meeting. But I would perhaps like clarification on that as well.
Yeah, I know we have an IG committee meeting coming up. I don't know what the timing exactly is on that. If we have time to add that to it, that would probably be the best, because I think it went through IG in the first place.
Commissioner Reinert.
I guess if the postponement is just going to be 2 weeks for further discussion, I guess I would support that.
Commissioner Meisner.
Yeah, I'm sorry, so matter of timing, because tomorrow is the IG committee, but that's not enough time to post. So then just, again, making sure that we're doing the correct timing and a date if we have to name it.
Commissioner Reinert.
So during that IG meeting, could we discuss this under other business? Or does it have to be posted for discussion
Right.
at the IG meeting?
I think you can add it and discuss it under other business as a part of the IG meeting. You wouldn't get the benefit of any public commentary at that, probably, because it's not part of the hearing notice.
I just want to remind folks that if we can establish an ordinance, we can change an ordinance. So once it's rolled out, if we're having challenges with the sheriff or with anyone else in terms of enforcement or any sort of problems, we can take that under advisement and we can change it in the same fashion that we're adopting it. I'm not sure that it's an end-all, be-all type of scenario, but given the fact that there's some watch it play out, we have that flexibility. I'll go to Commissioner Brasted.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would not support postponing this. Again, I understand the last time because of posting issues. But people are looking for direction, and that's what this provides. And like you said, Mr. Chair, as we go down the road and if we see something needs to be amended or changed, we can do that. But I think it's imperative that we get something done and on the books.
Okay, Commissioner Gamache.
Being that I have to have something on a time frame, and I think having it for tomorrow is a little short, because I don't even know if we could get the sheriff there, yeah, with what his schedule would be. I guess I would put in, add that to the postponement would be indefinite until the IG committee meets in September, and I think that would perhaps suffice.
I would view that as you offering an amendment to your motion, and so that would require a second as well. And then there could be discussion on the topic of whether it should be indefinite or to a time certain.
So there's a amendment to the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Meisner. Okay, Commissioner Jepson.
So we're just commenting on the timing at this motion, correct?
Indefinite or when to bring it back to a meeting.
Okay, I am not in support of indefinite. I think there needs to be an end to this. I think there needs to be a goal. And the next IG meeting is September 27. And I think that would be a good goal, because I think tomorrow is way too soon with all the questions that I've been hearing in these meetings and getting the sheriff involved. I think remove indefinite, but have September 27, because, correct me if I'm wrong, I think I confirm that's the next IG meeting in September.
Okay.
So just for clarification, do I make it, change mine again to the 27th?
Okay, so that's a friendly amendment, which wouldn't require a second then to the 22nd. Did you say of September?
27th.
27th of September. Commissioner Meisner.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, but before we do a date again, so I mean, the IG meeting is on the 27th, but before it comes to the county board would be October 10th. So that is the actual, I believe, the correct date that we would want, not the IG meeting. That's when we're gonna discuss it. But October 10th would be when we bring it back before the board. I see Commissioner Schulte nodding his head, so, okay.
You know, again, I will remind people that, you know, I played on a softball field just down the way here in Anoka, and there's signs there with city ordinances on there that alcohol and tobacco use is not permitted. And now those signs will probably be changed to say alcohol, tobacco, and marijuana use will not be permitted, or smoking in general, or whatever the case is. So this is not uncommon, I don't think, for, you know, for us to adopt something like this, especially in light of the fact that we have county-owned property and people that probably would not be too impressed with, you know, someone arguing the fact that, well, it doesn't say I can't, you know. So I think this is a valuable thing to undertake, and like, just like jaywalking, you know, the sheriff's gonna have to decide if they're, what they're enforcing, to what level they're enforcing, and that sort of thing, so.
Mr. Chair. If I
Yes.
could just get clarification on where we stand on the motion
have a
and the date.
We have an amendment right now to his motion for September 28th, 27th, sorry.
No.
should be 10th.
And that's
October 10th.
that's the reason of the clarification. So the next county board hearing after that IG meeting, I believe, is October 10th. Is it Commissioner Gamash's intention to bring the vote on this issue up or down, good, bad, or indifferent, back to the county board at that October 10th county board meeting, so that it might be discussed with the sheriff at an IG meeting?
That would be what I would like to do, yes.
Okay, so if you could offer that as a further amendment, and if there is somebody who wants to second it,
Second.
well, maybe, okay, so you've offered it, now you
Okay,
seconded.
so
by-
the vote right now is on the amendment. All those in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
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 3 opposed, and I didn't catch Commissioner Reinhardt.
Aye.
Okay, so 4 in favor of the amendment, okay. And now we're back to postponement. All those in favor of postponing this until the September 28th IG meeting discussion and
October
October 10th board meeting signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed?
No.
No. Okay, so we have 3 in opposition, 4 in favor of postponement. We will postpone it, and we will have these discussions with the sheriff. I'm confident that while he hasn't reached out to myself yet on this topic, that we'll probably resolve this pretty soon, so.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
Just to clarify for the record, there having been the opportunity for a public hearing today that was opened and closed, there will be no further public hearing on this unless there are substantial changes to what was put before the board.
Okay. Commissioner Reinert?
Yeah, I just want to comment on, this is an ordinance, and I fully realize that once passed, you can revisit it and then change that ordinance at will. But, for the sake of, spending a couple more weeks to cross the Ts, dot the Is, might as well do it right the first time. I'm not saying this isn't right, but there seems to be some people that want to look a little bit further into it and speak with the sheriff and, just gather a little bit more information and become more comfortable with it. So that's why I voted for this, is just to, I guess err on the side of just contemplating and doing it right, so.
Yeah, Commissioner Reinert, I mean, I don't know that's going to be so much of an issue. Certainly, it was a public meeting, and the sheriff could have been here to address this if there were catastrophic failures or material weaknesses in this ordinance or something like that he would have perceived to have been a challenge to enforcement. I think that we're throwing an anchor out here, and to Commissioner Brasted's point of people need clarification, there's just unnecessary delay right now in getting that clarification. Commissioner Meisner.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chair. And then, yeah, just for me, I mean, partly the reason that I really want to take time around this is because this is different. We did not go the route, as Commissioner Gamache suggested a lot of the metro counties are doing, which is amending ordinances and policies that are already in place. So we did not go that route. This is a standalone. This is a 2023-1, the first ordinance of 2023. And then also, I would just make comment that we do have the policy that we adopted. And so now this is, as the county attorney kind of said, is the quote unquote the teeth, right? The enforcement around that. So I just want to be thoughtful and just make sure that everything is answered for questions that I have, and I have some technical questions about this ordinance as well. But again, for me, it is, again, that this is a standalone ordinance. This is a different route than any other metro county is doing at this time, so.
Well, Commissioner Meisner, I don't know that we should disparage our staff as not putting thought into this. I think they put a lot of thought into this.
I'm talking about my own thoughtfulness. Thank you.
Commissioner Schulte.
Mr. Chair, as a matter of procedure, I think we're discussing something we've already postponed. If we're going to talk about it, let's put it back on the table and talk about it. If we're going to postpone it, let's postpone it.
There was just discussion as to why they were voting for it or against it. Okay, we'll move on to item 10, which is consider resolution 2023-95, resolution to establish a Anoka County Library Advisory Board. You'll see the attached resolution on that, and my hope is that we had enough discussion on that one for everyone's
I'll offer the resolution.
sake. There is an offer of the resolution by Commissioner Schulte. Is there discussion? Seeing none.
Sorry, Mr.
Yes.
Chair.
Commissioner Jepson.
Yeah, just one clarifying question in one of the statements of be it further resolved, the Anoka County Library Board be dissolved. And so the technical Anoka County Library Board is being dissolved and replaced with the Anoka County Advisory Board. Correct, that's all that means. Thank you very much.
Commissioner Meisner?
Oh,
Did you have
no,
your-
no,
okay.
thank you.
Okay, I do not see a roll call on this, but I'd like a roll call if we can.
Commissioner Look,
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson,
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner,
Aye.
Commissioner Brastad,
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
And that passed unanimously. We'll move on to item 11, which is committee appointments. Consider appointing Aaron Lind, who we believe can fairly represent all hydrologic areas within the district, to the Coon Creek Watershed District Board of Managers, replacing Matthew Herbst for a term ending May 27, 2026. Is there a motion to appoint?
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Moved by Commissioner Schulte,
Second.
second by Commissioner Jepson. Any discussion on this?
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Schulte.
First, I'd like to thank Matt Herbst for his service on the watershed. He put in a number of years there and was a valuable asset. So thank him for his service. And secondly, just mention that we had a robust slate of candidates who were interested in this position. And we conducted interviews last week, and Ms. Lynn did a great job, and I think she'll serve us fine. So we were happy to unanimously select her for this position. But we had some strong candidates, and I hope they stay engaged and find other ways to help in the community and maybe eventually reapply back here to the Watershed District one more time.
Okay, further discussion?
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Commissioner Gamache.
Thank you. I wasn't involved in this one. I was in the last one we did, so I know that we were taking into account the areas to make sure that that we were spread out after the legal opinion that we received on another watershed. But anyways, Ms. Linda believes lives in Commissioner Schulte's district, which I think there is one person in Commissioner Schulte's district that may already be on the board. So I just want to make sure that it was looked at and everybody, that the three of you were okay with that, because I didn't want to have any issues arise again in the future.
Commissioner Schulte?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, Commissioner Gamache, yes, we did look at the map very carefully, and this is really kind of in the way southwest corner of the hydrological district, and the other one that happens to be in my district's up in the far northwest corner. So there is quite a disparate difference in the zone from where they're at. But we did take that into consideration, discuss it at length, and made sure that we met that category.
Thank you.
Okay, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That motion passes. And we'll move on to item B, which is consider appointing Michelle Anderson as a community representative to the Anoka County Children and Family Council, replacing Reverend David Lichelt, is that possibly how you pronounce that, for a term ending May 31st, 2026. My apologies if I butchered that last name. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Gamache. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Jepson. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That motion passes. And I believe that brings us to the end of our agenda here this morning. If there is nothing else to come before us, we will stand adjourned. Thank you.